Hello, everybody. I'm more known as Oindrila from Mool Design, but this video is something little different. Mool Design is my dream, and I always, try to give a very positive effort towards anything which I feel and from my heart and from my inner self. So that's the basis from where more punk design came into existence. But today, I would just simple talk about few lines about myself and how this whole the concept of what I'm doing today has come into existence, and how in I mean I happen to see a lot of problems around. It's not only problems, I would say, a lot of indecisions, a lot of times, particularly women like us. I'm one of you, and particularly women like us who have some kind of desires in their heart. They need a wing to fly and to feel more confident, and can don't get so much of a platform or an opportunity to pursue their dreams. It actually a little bit of my background, if I put forward. I have been from a psychology background and did my master's in psychology. And though my specialization was in organizational behavior in that field from Delhi University, in my period of studies, I always used to get so much of attractive domain for me actually was human beings per se. That how we interact, how we communicate, how our thought processes are, particularly at the time when the situation overall is not very conducive, and how we should, you know, address in it's like I'm completely explaining from my own personal experience, my own observations, my own study, and my own field of work in the field of psychology for a few years initially, including a small stint at the defense also. And I can always feel very connected to you know everybody. I mean, I have the knack of knowing what actually a person, the agony of a person who is going through. And thus, the whole gamut of my present work, what I'm doing right now through Morpunk Design, has come into existence. It is always that I have a feeling to make others happy through some kind of the practical way of making things happen. And this is I would say that a very a small portion of my thought process would also go into how would you tackle the present crisis or a situation. As for in my in my past, what I have observed is that I'm the only daughter to my parents, and I chose not to be away from them. And by God's grace, I would always keep my fingers crossed when I say God's grace, and God is the ultimate faith in me. I never had to move out. For a shorter period of time, I had to move out to Bombay, Mumbai now. That was for 5 years. But then I came back to Delhi, and I chose to live close enough to my parents, so that uh, at their any and every need and requirement, I can be beside them. So and what I just want to share is that my mom, her background is again in psychology. She's a PhD lady in psychology, and my all positivity what I have today is all from my parents, particularly my mom's, the positive psyche and the strength, and her way of approaching anything in a very positive manner, which I feel it just vibrates in my mind and body. And whatever I do today, I always, I feel that it is from her that I have learned the ways of dealing with any kind of situations. So it so happened that she is a cancer survivor, and for the last 20 years there had been umpteen ups and downs. And the fact also, I had to quit my job in the from defense, basically because my firstborn, my son was 4 months old, and my mom was detected with an ovarian carcinoma. And after that, there were surgeries and there were chemotherapies, and it was something which I could not, the home front and the office and the working situation was very difficult for me to I mean, given attention to. So I had to quit. I mean, there was no opportunity. I had to quit. And later on, after that, as you know, as many of you know, that chemotherapy has severe side effects. And so it basically happened that after that, my mother kept on suffering from one of the side effects to the other, from heart attacks to total knee replacements to osteoporosis to major surgeries and major problems. And I kept on being with her, beside managing my own family, and rearing up my kids. And in the middle part, I moved to Mumbai as as the uh, duty called. So actually what I but this the approach to everything and every problem of any nature or kind, always the approach is absolutely very calm, to remain calm in that situation, and to have don't expect any kind of an instant relief or solution to the problem. It is basically how we keep ourselves calm, and how much we think deep about that, what all the positive things are there in it, negating the negative ones, and then we can approach positively to reach up to a solution. It is always that we always there is a tendency of human mind to see the bigger problems, and then we get a lot of panicky to ourselves. There are panic attacks, there are anxiety attacks, to see the larger picture. It's a very small kind of technique where we can approach any problem, starting from the minutest details, and it's basically the cause and effect of it, why it is happening, what can be the unbiased conditions or reasons or variables involved in so that that problem at the home front or with the health, anyway, anything, it is basically how it is happening is kind of we need to find out. We cannot start with thinking that, oh my god, now what I'm going to do, it's like such a big problem in front of me, or it is such a devastating situation that I can't really tackle. Anything and everything can be tackled. Anything and everything can be tackled, and I am completely telling you, people, from my own personal experience, that everything is can be handled well if the approach is right, approach to the solution is right. And we should not think anything else but the given problem and how to reach to a solution, so we can consult our friends, we can talk to any doctor that time, we can, we can have a lot of informations regarding that situation, and gradually we should address to that. If it's an emergency, if it's a completely out of hand situation, then it's a separate thing altogether. But generally, I'm saying in day to day lives, and particularly with women, a lot of issues and a lot of facts and factuals keep on playing in front of us within the family, within the in balancing out the work and family situation. There are a lot of complications which arise, which I feel that can be always addressed in a very, breakdown manner. Like when you break down that whole big problem into very small phases, suppose day one, day two, day three, and then we reach to up to a week. So that way, the first day, if it's tackled, then it gives rise to the future, which is the next day. The next day, when it is tackled, it gives rise to the next day, which is the another future. So it's basically we are correcting our present today, and the future automatically gets cleaned up, or the solution we get for the future. So it is basically in that kind of a small step. And remaining the whole thing is that we cannot just get perturbed with the fact that, well, and now what I am going to do. Believe me, if you have that prayer in yourself and the trust that I can overcome this, only two things: I can overcome this, everything will get settled. And I have seen this in my with my in kind of beginning, you generally get flustered with a lot of things, but when you have those right kind of information to you and right kind of people around you, you have to choose the right kind of people also. I mean, a negative situation, a negative community will always give rise to negative feelings and negative thoughts. A positive community and a positive situation will always gives rise to a positive solution and a positive situation. So it is that people always, so I can always I'm quite open to anybody seeking any kind of help or support in dealing with any kind of small issues, because I have a lot of friends and a lot of calls I keep getting, as I have a little bit of knack also to just to ease out if any kind of fixated problems an individual has within my friends. And I just volunteer for it, because I just love to see people in merriment, in happiness. I cannot live in pain. I just cannot live in pain, and I don't want people to be in pain at all. And by God's grace, I feel that every day, every new day, whatever the problems are with us will get will get clarified, will get over, and God will definitely always show us a positive day in future. It is not that there are a lot of things, and if I want to speak a lot, then there are a lot of things to speak, but I'm just saying that simply approaching the problems in a very smaller manner, in breaking down in a very small steps, we can address it in a better manner, and also in a better better way. I mean, as a simple thing, a brand, like a creative brand, what I have desired, what I have dreamed as Morpang design, cannot be made in over a day. And also there are many things which go behind in making it run, and sustaining it, and making the you people happy with the product line or whatever I dream or desire. And so that is something. So I mean, it is always in household also, in rearing up children also, we really need to be very patient and calm in situations where it is within our limits and control. If it's an emergency situation, then it's a different issue altogether. So, and the first our reaction becomes very, it's a panic reaction. It's always a buzzer. It's always a panic button which, which goes, and then we don't know what to do. So I'm quite open to you all for questions or for any kind of support if I can render. And I would love to do that. And I am one of you, absolutely one of you. And I just would love to be one of you always. Thank you so much. God bless you all. Stay blessed. This too shall pass. Thank you.